Token Square.
We're live. Yay, we're live. Clap, yay. So welcome everybody. I am Mohney. I'm the owner and editor of the Huckleberry Press, and we are doing our Lilac City live interview today with a couple of really stellar people from Spokane, and we're doing it from Mad Collab Studios, which is a wonderful artistic gathering place on Trent in Spokane. If you haven't been to Mad Collab Studios, I highly recommend it. And today the meeting was the Spokane Small Business Group and Entrepreneurs. All right, Spokane Small Business and Entrepreneurs Group. So we've got an audience that's informed by that group, and it's exciting. So welcome. And we're here, our first interviewer. I guess what's going on is I'm nervous because there's a couple of professional podcasters in the room. And I hope I'm up to snuff. So anyway, Kelli, welcome.
Hi.
So this is Kelli Thompson of Token Square, and she is going to talk to us about how she serves small businesses and larger businesses in the area. And then hopefully we can talk a little bit about Founders Live too, which is another project of yours.
Yes.
So you are in the world of NFTs and blockchains, and I am in the world of old school newspapers. So could you kind of break down what it is about NFT and blockchain and how you can be a service to the small business people?
Yeah. So the challenge of this subject is that it's very new. It's very new, or just now building on it. And so a lot of the things that I'm doing is just telling people what the heck is NFT and what is blockchain, and without going over my head. And because a lot of people think of, are getting really scared of technology, and I try to break it down into easy to understand terms.
Yeah, how do you do that?
How do I do that? Well, I usually talk to people about what they're interested in, and usually I always like to say I can make an NFT of that. So with the paper or with small businesses, like for example, this space right now, like with a coffee shop is what I usually like to talk about, where you would go into your local coffee shop and you have artwork all around the room. And that artist could create an NFT, a digital replica of that piece of art. And that then it can also unlock utility. So the coffee shop owner could say, if you purchase the digital replica of this piece of artwork, then that would give you free coffee on Fridays. So it's like a membership program in a way. And also with the NFTs and buying and selling them with the secondary market, in some cases, those artists can create royalty from that. So, and then also with a piece of art, you can make that digital replica, which is called a phygital or digital piece, so that you have a certificate of authenticity. We know that that is exactly the painter and it's their name on that art.
So, as I understand it, your average artist lives in a transactional world where they make a piece of art and then they sell a piece of art. Often there's a middleman involved and there's a commission. But in the world of NFTs and blockchain, it's a way for an artist to get leverage, because now they can get royalties and ideally multiple sales off one piece of art.
Correct, right. And also, if that with the NFT you have utility, so like that coffee shop owner, for example, and so to partner with an artist to have that beautiful picture, that label to say, oh, look at me and buy me, but then also to have something that NFT can use to unlock a benefit that a business owner would have, that gives, now they're both wanting to, push each other to make that sale too. And then also with this world and marketing in Web3, which is where you have more ownership over things and it's more decentralized, then you have your marketing with the community usually. So like, again, that coffee shop, you will have lots of people who come all the time, and this is their favorite place. And now that unlocks that membership where they have a feeling of a sense of like, you need to buy that NFT because we can then share ideas and unlock even more benefits.
How did you get into this whole world of NFTs and blockchains in the first place?
It was a podcast. Yes, it was a podcast. I was driving back from Pullman and just decided to listen to a podcast. Mike Stelzner was Social Media Examiner, and he had on there Joe Pulizzi, and he was talking about social tokens, which are similar to NFTs, but a little bit different. But when I heard about this concept, and with Mike Stelzner, he's just a visionary. He just knows. He's like telling me and his audience about Facebook and YouTube right at the early stages. And I thought, dang it, I missed that. Well, I'm not going to miss this one. So everything just really clicked and made sense. And this was at the height of the craziness of NFTs, when everyone was talking about ridiculously monkey pictures, JPEGs that were selling for millions of dollars. That's when I started. And with my background as a financial advisor for many years, and I thought, okay, this scares me. This scares me. But to do more research about it and to understand the technology part of it and get that hype that's now settled down and where we can really start building, that's what's exciting right now. It's the possibilities.
Now that the hype has died down and people are still, though, in the early adopting phase, what do you see as possible for the community once we get into more people adopting the technology?
Well, I think a lot of the first steps that to get into this space is understanding digital wallets and to get a crypto digital wallet. That's going to be your username and password to get into these new platforms that are being built, these dApps, decentralized applications. And so we're going to be moving away from all of our data with Google and these bigger companies, and it's going to be, you're going to have control of that. And through your digital wallet, you'll make those connections. And you can give companies some of your data, but not all of it. Or if you do give it to them, then you're like, you know what, you can pay me for that. So it's going to have a lot more control. So the first step is to investigate crypto wallets and start looking at what it takes to open one. That would be the first step for people to know. And then you can just go down a rabbit hole of information. I post a weekly blog article and talk about the practical uses of the technology. So hoping my readers will read it and say, yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. I can apply it in my business. Or I can, as a consumer, be on the lookout for that. And when I walk in that coffee shop, say, I'd like to buy an NFT of that art piece. So that's kind of what my hope is.
Do you have a favorite use scenario already that you've helped anyone in Spokane with?
So I am working with a brand new platform that is about ticketing. So he wants to take down Ticketmaster.
Whoa.
Yes. And so with your ticketing, what are the problems with your current ticketing options? So you have scalpers, you have bots. So there's a lot of, lethargic. I mean, not, what's the word? Just devious little happenings with tickets.
Right.
And so with this platform, if you went to your favorite band, you have that piece of paper that you hold onto. So in the future, instead of that piece of paper, you're going to have an NFT of that. And it could be a beautiful image from a local artist or a famous artist, for example. And that would get you into the concert. And then that ticket will then be used for discounts and other benefits from other businesses. They can say, if you went to that concert, you can come in and we'll award you with a special benefit or VIP experience. So there's a lot more uses for that ticket, which is really exciting, I think.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to take down Ticketmaster or to see Ticketmaster go down.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure we have just at least a moment for what's called Founders Live, the thing that you're heading up in Spokane. So could you tell people what Founders Live is, when it is, and how they can get there.
Yes. So Founders Live is a worldwide organization started in Seattle. And there's over 100 cities and over 35 countries that have this startup pitch competition. So startups that want to get in front of an audience, they have 99 seconds to pitch, and then followed up by 4 minutes of question and answer from the audience. And then the audience gets to vote on their favorite. And so locally, the winner of Founders Live gets prizes that have been donated by the community, business owners and things. And then they also get to move on towards the competition with the global competition. So, and then be plugged into the Founders Live organization where they can have, bigger exposure to funding or benefits and helps and resources for their business. So I love small business. I used to be a small business owner myself with 2 laundromats and a dry cleaner. So I have a soft spot for founders, for startups, for people who are like me with Token Square, trying to get your name out and get support. So I just love supporting entrepreneurs. And so our Founders Live event is on May 17th, 5 p.m. at Burbity Workspaces out on Sullivan. And we already have our 5 founders. And if you're interested in buying tickets, I'm still on Eventbrite, but I'm working on that. And if you go to Founders Live, you can also claim an NFT there too. Yes, our landmark collection. So you can get an NFT and you can vote for your favorite business owner. So.
Well, I've known you for several months, and I already thought you were pretty cool. But then how you ran that meeting was very impressive. I loved the vision. I loved how you had everything laid out for everybody. The energy in the room was really fantastic. I just committed to being a sponsor, so the Huckleberry Press is going to be one of the sponsors of Founders Live, and I encourage people to go. We have time for 2 questions for Kelli, and when you say your question, I'm going to repeat it for the microphone. So who in our live studio audience has a question for Kelli on blockchain or Founders Live?
Can you get us the information to Founders Live so I can share it?
Yes, I can get you the information for Founders Live. Yes.
So who's the ideal audience to have in your Founders Live?
Yes.
Yeah, who's the ideal audience for Founders Live?
Yes. So a third of the audience is going to be family and friends of the people who are pitching because, they want to support. The other third is usually people who are thinking, I have a business idea, or I just started a business. I'm going to check out Founders Live and see if I can actually get up there and pitch. And then the other third are businesses that want to support the founders, either with their own products and services. So we'll have, marketing companies, we'll have accounting people, we'll have all sorts of different types of businesses that want to support. I also want to bring in organizations such as this networking group with the Small Business Entrepreneurs Group. SCORE is also going to be there. So the more organizations that help support our community in Spokane, the better. So I would like to, make sure all of those organizations have someone there also. Because it's important as someone who wants to start a business, and if you're all by yourself and you have an idea, you just need that encouragement. And when you have a bad day, to have someone say, keep going, you can do this, and we believe in you. So to have all those people in one room, that's what was so exciting about the last Founders Live in March. Was I just felt like it wasn't the spotlight wasn't on me, it was on our founders, but it was also on everybody else who has their own businesses too. So I think it's really great.
I'm excited. May 17th, Founders Live, we're all going to be there.
Yep.
And if people want to find out more from you about NFT, blockchain, application, how do they do that? Where do they go?
So I'm at Tokens Square. So tokens is plural, Token Square on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. I do a lot of most of my postings are on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn as well. And just connect with me because I would love to help small businesses or any business that would like to get information and start with Web3 and NFTs. It's not scary. It's super, super fun. And if you're an early adopter and you love technology and you want to get ahead of your competition, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to learn rather than wait when everyone has already figured it out and you're scrambling to make sense of it all. So I'm here to help.
I'm paying attention. I'm very much Web 1, and I know that I have to future-proof what I'm doing. So thank you for being here. Kelli Thompson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yay.
Yay.
And do you want to give your microphone to Ezekiel? And Ezekiel, just kind of clip it to your shirt.
Yeah, I got the same kind.
Oh, good. Then you know how to work it.
Well, that's asking a lot right there. Okay.
I'm sure that'll work. Great.
Sweet.
Yay, Ezekiel. Yay. You're one of the professional podcasters that was making me nervous.
I wouldn't call myself professional. I do it, but I don't get money from it yet.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So this is Ezekiel Schmitt, who is one of Spokane's up-and-coming artists. And tell us a little bit about how you got started being an artist. Your origin story is what we're looking for.
My origin story. It's a long and short one at the same time. I didn't start painting till about 2 years ago. So before that, I picked up a brush maybe 2 or 3 times. I did small painting when I was 5, but I started drawing really early on and selling them at my church. So like the art sales has always been in my blood. So I would do a little drawing with crayon or something like that and sell it for like 50 cents to like some random person in the church. And then I forgot about it for years, and I would draw occasionally. But 2 years ago, I just like, you know what, I want to start painting. Music isn't really doing what it used to do for me, so start some other kind of art form. And from there, it just kept going. I just haven't stopped painting.
Right on. And we have a couple of your paintings up here.
Yeah, this is like my 3rd one, I think.
So we were talking in the hallway, and thematically, you're working with archetypes and things like that. So can you speak to how you work with the archetypes and how you'd like to have people perceive those archetypes?
I would first like to say it's influenced by the idea of archetypes, but it's not necessarily archetypal itself. I like working with the idea of, on the other painting over there, that's Carl Jung, his idea of the collective unconscious and being able to kind of pull meaning from the random symbols that we have thrown to us in our dreams and daydreams and putting them into a way that communicates with other people. Because there's lots of symbols that we encounter that we automatically know what it means, even though we don't have to say it. Like if I put up an octagon sign right now, everybody would know that's a stop sign. Even though it's not red, it could be any color. So I'm trying to tap into kind of whatever the other is. I don't know if necessarily if you believe in God or not. I'm on the fence, so I'm trying to figure out what's on the other side, if there is another side, and explore the human psyche.
What do you love about what you do as an artist?
I love that I can make something, and I might have a slight idea of what I think it is, but then I show it to someone else, completely different. And just that moment of learning about someone else through something you created is really striking to me. And also the process of, I'll take my little speaker, stick it next to me. I'll start listening to either some classical music or Tool, maybe. It's not classical at all, but or an audiobook. And I just like letting go of the world and just focusing on the brushstroke that's coming next, and just not try to be something that I'm trying to think of, like, oh, I should do this. No, just do it and then see what happens.
How do you know when you're connecting? Like, what's the experience you have when you've connected with what you're doing?
it only takes me a few hours, and I don't do anything else. I won't eat. I won't go to the bathroom. I just stay focused on this one piece until it's done. That's how I know I've truly connected with a piece. Some of my pieces, they take weeks. It's a little annoying for me because I like that feeling of start, finish, accomplishment without having to take the breaks in between. But that is necessary. But I forgot what the question was now.
I think you answered it.
Good,
I'm feeling more connected talking to you, so I think it's been answered.
good.
If you could wave your magic wand, what would your art career look like?
I would be doing giant paintings. I would have lavishly outlandish outfits. I'm a huge fan of Salvador Dali and his outrageous personality, not necessarily how he acted towards people, but I like the theater of it. I would love to have walls that I could just spend all day painting and just create a whole new world that you could just feel like you could step into.
Fascinating. Who has questions for Ezekiel? Heather.
If you wanted to see your work, where do we find it?
If we want to see your work, where do we find it?
If you want to see it live, come to Mad Collabs Gallery and or Mad Collabs Studio Gallery. But if you want to see it online, I have an Instagram, a YouTube, and a Facebook page, all named Ezekiel Schmitt Art, and that's the same name for my website as well.
And if we want to listen to your artsy podcast, where do we find that?
If you look up Ezekiel's Art Podcast on YouTube, I'm the first thing that pops up.
Right on. Dominating YouTube.
Trying every week. Every week, try to be having a longer session, but sometimes I run out of questions, and I'm just like, you know what? It's been an hour and a half. I got to cut it down.
I am inspired what you're doing artistically, and I'm in particular inspired by the fact that you gave yourself the permission to dive in the first place. That's a life-changing thing right there.
Yeah, it's been quite the adventure. I grew up with my dad being an artist and an art teacher, so I knew a little bit about the art world, but then jumping into it, it's like watching someone swim gracefully and then jumping into the deep end without even knowing how to swim. It's a very quick learning experience, but fun.
Right on. Thank you, Ezekiel.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, audience.